Jai, Menser, welcome.
Johnny.
Hey, Johnny.
Good to bug me.
This can be a little uncomfortable. It's very, you put a camera on and some microphones and it's like, you get all weirded out. But yeah, man, we're just going to have a chat and see where we go. My thing here, I haven't drunk for 4 years, right? So you heard some of my sober journey. Throughout that, I'll probably say within the last 2 years, 3 years, I've seen something. I've seen something on the other side of this life that I was living, where I was struggling. But I felt like there was like this secret, and there was this other world. So to share a message, I've wanted to connect to people that have been in that circle of things that's helped me leave that world behind, right? So whether it's yoga, whether it's meditation, whether it's running. So if you want to call it and say, I want to speak to people that inspire, you inspire, right? You inspire for change, you inspire to be better. So this is what my channel is all about. This is what this setup is all about. So I don't know if we call it a podcast or whether it's my YouTube channel, but I don't call it a podcast, right? So whenever I say to people, let's sit down and do a podcast, it's not a podcast, part of my show, channel, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, Jai, you can give yourself an introduction and I'm pumped that you're here.
Cool. Well, yeah, I'm Jai, 21, and I coach football. I got a little role out at Terrigal United Women's Premier League, and then a couple other roles on top of that. And then also, on top of that, I love running. That's how me and you connected. to the boys there as well. Yeah. And I've only been running for 2 years now. Yeah. I know it's been the tipping point for me for the last 2 years with a journey I've taken myself on. Came out of a little realization 2 years ago. Basically, it's time 2 years ago in May, early May, mid-May, just before my birthday. The turning point. And, it's been a fucking hell of a journey.
I've got some things here sort of written out, but since you said that, I might just it's sort of at the end part. Yeah. But so you've been running for 2 years, but have you found that before running and stepping into this world, because you've set yourself some challenges, you're doing the what is it, the 50 marathons, 50 days? Yeah. You're doing the 50 marathons, 50 days. Next Saturday, you take part in the UTA 100. Yep. And you've also got the 24-hour event, right? So we'll get to all these. But before you stepped into this journey, did you feel limited in some way, or had a way of like non-belief in yourself that you could step into this world? So basically, if you 2 years ago, right? So when you were like, say 17, 18, did you think one day I'm going to run, or it just appeared its head?
It just came out. It really did come out of nowhere. That running journey. I got it. 2 years. Maybe not so limiting belief or limiting in that sense. It's like I had mentally, I just had a thought that like I'm not going to be much. Like to put it in a simple way as that, like I didn't have any aspirations. I didn't have anything big to go off or to work towards. I was a little overweight. I was in a relationship, which was nothing. It wasn't a bad relationship. It was cool. We were living together, and that broke down, and that's what I guess sparked the start of it. Sparked like the start of that realization. I was like, oh, what am I actually doing? Like, what? I'm not doing exactly fulfilling things. Like I'm doing things I like, doing things I like doing something, but not nothing really that I feel would stand out. If I came to the end of my life, I'm like, I'm happy with that. So that was like a big realization. I was just too comfortable doing what I was doing, and I wasn't progressing.
So for preparation for this, I listened to the Cam Haines and Ned Brockman. Ned Brockman, right? Okay, so you're 21. Ned Brockman's 24.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
And I think that his journey's been a couple of years. But a lot of it happened last year from running across Australia. But let's just say he was 23, 24 when he done that. You're 21. Will you be, or could you be, the next Ned Brockman? Or do you feel like you could tackle some of the things that he's just done? You know, but 21, right? That guy's 24. You've got a head start. Do you think about things like that, or is that sort of, you know, I know that you've got these things ahead. Have you got some ideas from that, or how have you led into that?
Even he did the 21. He did the 50 marathons as well in 50 days, I believe, when he was 22 as well, and I'll be 22 doing that, as I'll be attempting that, which that sparked from him. I followed on from his journey maybe 2 months prior to him starting that, his bigger house run across Australia. And then,
were you following him when he was doing it?
Yeah, I followed
You knew about, did you know about him or not?
The 2 months prior to him
Yeah.
starting that. Like, I followed his journey up to that, and obviously I went through his stuff, and I was like, oh, he's done this. And that was before UTA. That was prior to my first 100K last year. And then I was like, oh, maybe that's what's next.
Yeah.
I'm always sort of thinking like, oh, what can I do next?
Yeah.
And it was pre-UTA. I'm like, I think I know what's next. Like after UTA, obviously I get this done first, and that was the focus on UTA, the 100K, and I got that done, and I had like about a month. I had a 4-week, like I called it like an off season. After UTA, I was like really chilled out. I had no football. I literally just worked and relaxed for a whole month. I did still run, but like nothing crazy. And that off season, that was that decision. It was like, what's next? And then I was like, I know 50 marathons, 50 days is on the cards. And I was like, oh, that's got to be it. And then I come up with the 24-hour skilling event. I did 12 hours last year, and that's sort of like what sparked that.
What date's that?
24-hour, 28th of October.
So you do, so your other one finishes in early September?
September 2nd.
And then the end of October.
Yeah.
You're doing a 24-hour.
So I got a good month
and a bit.
4 weeks-ish.
What a year.
Yeah, it is a big year running wise, and then this is life. It's a big year. With, a lot of opportunity. But, yeah, it's that realization at the moment that I may have put too much on the cards, and I got to dial it back so I can focus on the main things.
You'll be right. Just keep going. What are the main things?
With my coaching role with Terrigal.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, I still have to work. I got to make money.
Yeah.
And then I got the grammar school now. Those roles, I feel I have to get rid of some lesser priority things so I can give 100% to the things that I want to give 100%, or the bigger priorities like running, like Terrigal, like the grammar school. So they're the main things I need to focus on. So I need to get rid of some things, and to give myself even just time to breathe for that a little bit.
So we had you done the UTA 100 last year in October.
Yeah.
But you had trained for it to be, when was it? It was meant to be was it April or May? It's meant to be May. But so it got
like this year.
Yeah, so it got cancelled May last year. So how long were you training? I seen something somewhere. Not too sure where it was, but like 18 months. Was that 18 months into the October?
Yeah, so I started just running again, like just casual, like Friday morning social course.
You signed up for the 100.
And I signed up for the 100.
I'm like, what the fuck is that? You don't start at 100.
that was my first ever race, ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
I know. It's just coming to me now. I'm just thinking, oh, hang on a minute. What?
I started running in May 2021.
Yeah.
And then it was supposed to be May 2022.
Yeah.
That I was supposed to be the race. But then obviously, it got postponed. And it ended up being October. So that gave me, 17 months. 17 and a half, 18 months. It gave me to train and be prepared for 100 Ks, basically.
Have you, what are the biggest challenges you've found? Do you find more challenges in the training or more challenges on the day with the run? Well, I feel actually that you've done this once, right? You've done the UTA once, so it's sort of like whatever plan you've had, you've ran with it and it's worked. I know that you said that you done a marathon the Saturday before, the week before or something?
2 weeks prior to the marathon.
And that was too much?
And I had a 10-kilo vest on as well when I did that marathon as well.
Why?
It was for top blokes. They did through October. They do a thing called Lift the Load.
Yeah,
it's an initiative they do to raise money for their charity, Men's Mental Health. And I decided that I was gonna do a marathon. A 10-kilo vest on to raise some money for them on that day. Yeah,
not thinking you had.
Well, I thought about it, and I thought I'd be right, but it was just that little bit too early. So 2 weeks. That's why this year I've given myself 3 weeks to real taper down.
When was it? 2019. I don't want to mention his name, but in 2019 there was this guy that was holding an event. And it was a 24-hour challenge to run around the bridge to bridge of Nepean River, which is like 6-point-something Ks for one loop. I signed up for it. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this. Just thinking that it's just a 24-hour event and I've got to survive. Anyway, so I was up. So I was talking to the guy hosting it, right? And it was meant to be like December. It was meant to be December. Might have been like December the 18th, or I don't think it was November, but I know it was in December. And anyway, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, I'm going to do this. I don't have to win, just fucking like I don't have to race. So I messaged him and I said, oh, if I just do so many laps per hour or so, if I do concentrate on one lap per hour, it would even out to be like 124 Ks. And he's like, oh, no, because there's going to be prizes. And I'm like, well, what for? And he was going into saying it's going to be prizes for first, second, third. I'm like, well, then that's a competition to see how many laps you can do in 24 hours. It was like a mental challenge to see if you, anyway. I'm going back, I'm like, this guy's got no idea. This guy's it just started to become stupid. So I started to pick it apart. I was trying to find all the things wrong with it, right? To just go, this is stupid. Here's two stupid things. It was the season of the wildfires, right? I don't know if you, I was living out west back then, so I don't know what it was like where you live, but yeah. But we were smoked out, and you couldn't breathe. That's hazard number one. Number two, it was going to be like 38 degrees that day. So I contacted him. I'm like, it's going to be 38, and it's smoky. And he goes, oh yeah, I'm going to make, anyway, 2 days before the event, I wasn't ready. I wanted it to cancel, but I was in, but I wasn't ready. 2 days before the event, he pulled the pin, and he's doing all this on social media. And I'm like, you're a bit of a, like, I picked him apart. Anyway, after that, I was training for an event, and we interacted, and I was asking him some questions. This is a long-winded story here, just for a small thing. But I told him my plan because I was training for my first 50K which was the Snowies Ultra in Thredbo. So that was March the 1st, 2020. So, you know, January 2020, February 2020, I was communicating. But so I said to him, I said, okay, this is how I'm going to structure my training. You know, every Thursday, it's going to be a series of, say, 14 Ks and build up into, you know, up to 16 to 18 to 20 to 25 on the Thursdays leading up. And then the Sundays will be the long run, but going 20, 25, 30, 35, and then up to 40. But one of those training events, it was actually 3 times in that week I was training. So the Thursday was that smaller long run, but also incorporating a weighted vest. And so it was like, okay, well then we're going to structure the training, just a mild small run on the Thursdays and then the other long run. But then, but I said to him about the weighted vest and he said, "You're stupid." He goes, it's ridiculous because of the impact it would have. So you doing that marathon with that for that distance, anything, a weighted vest is okay if you're walking, running 6 to 10 Ks, but the amount of pressure that puts on you for that distance, man, that it'd be interesting to see what it's like if you didn't do that, how you would have performed. But it doesn't matter. You've still done the 100, right? So weighted vest over 10 Ks, it's madness. So. But
it
back,
was up the the dog park and at Turriga, and then I did the Skillion. It was like a loop from the surf club.
Oh, so you created your own 42K?
Yeah. So I did 20 laps, I think it ended up being, or something like that. So 20 laps from like the surf club, up and around the dog park, up the Skillion, and then back to the surf club, and like 2-point-something Ks per lap. So I ended up doing like 20-ish laps. So yeah, it was a good day.
Sunny. So what is the Top Blokes?
Top Blokes Foundation. They're a men's mental health foundation. They help boys aimed 14 to 24, basically creating an environment to help educate young men in like crucial areas such as like drug and alcohol, anger management, peer pressure, pornography. So many like life skill areas.
Porn's a fucking bad thing, man. You know what? I've heard so many. There's a guy that followed me for some reason through the supplement store. Sometimes they post some of the runs that I do. Yeah. And this guy followed me to get inspired. But I caught a glimpse of something that he was talking about, but he was open with it with porn. But then a few weeks back later, I heard Kanye West talk about it, his relationship with Kim Kardashian. And I was just like, it was just this small time and people were talking about porn. And I was just like, didn't even really think about it. And then I'm hearing more and more. It's doing some fucking damage, man. And you're not aware. But continue, keep going. Yeah. We don't have to. I can go deep on that. Like, you know, some of the things that I've found. It might just be my interpretation of things over the last 4 years, but I feel that everything is by design. I feel that it's intentional. You know, like we're in a multi-dimensional universe, and we live in a 3D reality, which means that there's 1 dimension, there's 2 dimension, there's 3 dimension, there's 4 dimension, there's 5 dimension, 6, 7, but we can't see everything, right? And like us living in the 3D, you would say, well, could there be something in the 4th dimension manipulating things in the 3D, like let's say a fish in the water is 2-dimensional, you know, and the examples of that would be, say, like a fisherman with a fishing hook messing about with the fish in the water, 2-dimensional, doesn't really know anything about the 3D until it gets yanked out and pulled out. So it's like that. So where the fish in the 3D, where something higher up might be manipulating this, and it's like, you know, you see so much stuff in society today, mental health, and there's this culture war that's happening. But yeah, I feel that it's It's by design through generation, but then add bad foods, pornography.
So many factors out there.
It's a constant smashing. So tell me more about the Top Blokes. Is that so? You're a part of that, or they're?
I guess you could call me an ambassador.
Yeah.
I guess for Top Blokes. I don't do any work for them or anything like that. I did their program back in 2017 when I was going through year 10. It was their pilot program they did with our school. It was only an 8-week program back then. They now do up to like 20-week programs in schools, which is superb. It's great. Good to hear. But yeah, that little 8-week impact on me, eight classes just on all those different topics. And yeah, it's still to this day, they're impacting my life in like only positive ways. And however way they can help me, they give me opportunities, whether it be I've gone on Sunrise back in 2021. I got to talk on live air, which is pretty cool. Got to meet Sam Mack. I got to go to a Rotary leadership camp, which is called Ryla. You're not allowed to talk about what you do there much, as it needs to be kept a secret, just in case people go there and you're not supposed to know what's going on.
Don't tell me anymore. I feel like it's too much of a secret.
But yeah, it's a life-changing event that I went to. It started this year. It was the best way to start a year, and that was through my connection I have with Top Blokes, and they put my name forward. I got in, and you meet all these freaking wonderful people. You basically you're at a school. I was at a school for 7 days, and with 60 other guys and girls, mentors, and you just do so much. Changed the year. Had a really great start to the year, and obviously have that connection with people that you never met in such a short amount of time. You're like, there's so many. Imagine the opportunity out there if you keep doing that, keep putting yourself out there, meeting random people, and you connect on such steep levels, and it was done pretty fucking easily. I reckon it was great.
Did anything come out of the Sunrise thing? Did you?
Not really. It was just that experience. It was just coming out of COVID back in 2021 as well, so everyone was still freaking.
What do you mean coming out of COVID 2021? That thing was here fucking up until last week. Fuck, it's still here.
Lockdown 2020.
Lockdown number 1 or 2? Or?
2. Yeah, 2021's.
Weird time.
But yeah.
I went for a run with someone in our I think it was the first time we linked up, but in the new formed circle, I'd say, or I've joined recently, or whatever you want to call it. But I went
Savages.
with a capital S at the end. But
Savages.
yeah, okay, that's what it is. It was the first time I went running with me. I was so bent and out of shape, struggled, but it was Terrigal to Gosford, and back, and I got to 8K, and then I turned around and didn't get all the way to Gosford. So I only ended up doing 19Ks. I was short 2Ks, but
only
yeah. What do you mean by that?
I don't know.
Do you mean it's a big deal or it's not?
It's a distance. Yeah, it's a good distance. It doesn't matter what you do. It matters that you've done it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like that time when
showing up.
It was like that time when we ran that first time, and you're like, you're like, fuck yeah, man. You just done 13Ks. Yeah. You just done 13Ks. I was like, come on, man. I should be doing 25. But yeah, that was uplifting. I was running back, and so I added the skillion on. And they've got a guy down at the beach, does the ice baths and the breath work. Brendan. Is it Brendan? Or I was going to say Brad. Yeah. So I was doing that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I added the skillion on, but a gorilla ran past me.
Bullshit. Was that morning?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Were you with him, right? Yeah.
That's funny.
You guys
that was my 20th day of my halves. So the 20 on halves.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Day after that, I did the marathon to finish.
Oh, okay.
That was that time. Wow.
Yeah. So I remember.
That's what he has.
Yeah, I was coming down because I was sort of early.
Shout out Fitzy.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, because I was coming over it's not a bridge, but the rollover into Terrigal.
Yeah.
And I was looking and I could see them all setting up, and I was like looking at my watch and I'm thinking, fuck, I need to get more Ks in. I'm like, I want to make the Skooyan. I ended up being late. But yeah, so then I got just around that boardwalk wrap around the rock. And then you and the gorilla ran past me, and just so I was like, knew nothing of anything, because it was sort of like my first time running in that area. And then they went up Skooyan and I come back, and then you guys were sitting on the rock or something. You were you were sitting down by that stage or something. I don't know. I know that I ran past you guys again.
Yeah.
But then I think that day or that afternoon, I think I seen an Instagram post and or something of the gorilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fitzy.
Yeah. I seen him on the Instagram post, and I it was something because he had something written on his.
Oh, I can't remember what it was.
Was it suicide or was it mental health?
It's around suicide.
Yeah.
Awareness. He's big on that. He's from the army himself, and
okay.
he's big on like veteran.
Yeah. Okay.
He's doing a big event. Sorry if I forget the date of it, but he's running from Sydney, I believe. Don't quote me. Cronulla, I think, to Brisbane at the end of the year. Cronulla to Brisbane.
Cronulla to Brisbane.
At the end of the year. And he runs through the coast like early October. Don't quote me again, but I'm pretty sure it's early October. But yeah, that's his.
That's all uphill too.
Thing. He just did 24-hour in Mudgee. He went out to Mudgee and he did a 24-hour event out there. Yeah. And he got in the gorilla suit in the last couple of hours.
Because Queensland's above us, does that mean he's running uphill?
I'm sure there'll be hills, but
I feel like it's Queensland's up, isn't it? It's like
it's great dividing fucking range. What'd you ask me again? You asked me a question.
Actually, I was gonna on that with the gorilla. Well, what was going through my mind when I ran past a gorilla? Can I call him a gorilla? Call him a gorilla, right? When I ran past, I was proud to see someone in not only a gorilla suit, but with that, I'm not getting clogged up here, right? But there's like, when it comes to stuff like this, like it really, it sort of really, it affects me because there's a lot of people out there that that'll do stuff like "Are you okay?" and talk about mental health, but there's actually a lot of people out there that's fucking suffering, like a lot, and there's a lot of people that whether you want to call them like image seekers or imposters or whatever, but they'll claim something along the lines of "Are you okay?" and stuff, but you got 95% of people out there that will talk about it, but will ignore you, that won't even acknowledge that you exist, but they'll portray this thing, right? So when you actually see people out there doing something about it, when, like, say for myself, I go, okay, well, like I get mental health, or maybe I don't get mental health, maybe I get depressed, or maybe something's happening where I can relate to that because I get it, It's like, how can I put it? I mean, I don't like to call it mental health, but I think it's something that's affecting a lot of us. And, it comes in all shapes and forms. But there's, I sort of want to go two places with this because I actually wrote down something on what I wanted to say about. I might as well just say it since I'm halfway here. I might as well just say it. But again, you know, I've come 4 years no drinking, and I look around and I feel like I've jumped into a new reality, or a new world, or a new something. Like there's all this awareness that's going on, and I feel like I see things differently. I look at things differently. I broke this program that was living a certain way, thinking that this was the real world. So my perception of reality was based around this thing, which was a Band-Aid, which was masking all of my pain. But I was running away from something, running away from myself, running away from maybe negative self-talk, inner demons, whatever it may be. So it was just alcohol, Band-Aid, right? So to stop drinking, thinking that you'll never be able to stop drinking and finding an out, to then living this new life, and then you see everyone else continuing on in that world, it just sort of like you again, you see things differently. You see things differently in a way of programming, you know, like there's like subliminal messages or subliminal programming. It can be through TV, through media, you know, there's certain media out there that can keep you in a low vibration by pumping out fear and all of these things. But I've just come out of doing breathwork facilitator training, and a part of that was it's to be trauma informed breathwork facilitator. So through breathwork journeys, not just breathing for 5 or 10 minutes, like big, long, hour-long activated breathing. You know, with music, you can tap into parts of your inner self, rewire the subconscious, right? But you can go on these visualization journeys, and you can go back in time and sort of heal things, right? But what I've seen and found with things is it's like it's generational, you know, and it's like it's ancestral. So if you look at like the last 3 or 4 generations, right, that you've got, I don't know if might have told you this the other day when we were running. I hope I'm not repeating myself, but this is what I feel, that this is what the problem is. Because again, mental health, people suffering, suicide, there's all this shit. We've got technology interfering, all of these distractions. But like, say my parents' parents were probably born in maybe early 90s, late 1800s, right? They would have went through the First World War, and after that, in the late 1930s, you had the Great Depression, and there was all these other things, recessions and stuff. And then coming into the late 30s and then into the 40s, you had World War II. And then post-World War II, so my mum and dad were born in the 1950s. So their parents were a part of World War I and then World War II. So the psychological trauma for them going through that in that time and then having kids, there was a lot of like, there was a lot of sort of, you know, forcing the women back to work or forcing the men back to work. So it used to be like, bring up a kid, you got mum and dad at home, and that was happy family. But then it's sort of like, well, let's divide the family and let's break it a little bit. And then we'll send the father off or send the mother off to work. So the kid was just not, you know,
stable.
Yeah. And then post World War II, then a lot of technologies come out of the war, washing machines, vacuum cleaners, all this stuff. So it was like, well, we got to work, we got to consume because we got to buy. We got to buy all of these things, right? And then, you know, vacating and holidays and all of these things, right? So you then sort of get this not selfish type of parents, but you got the traumatized war parents, and then they have this next generation, and then their kids, right? So there's like abuse, and then all of this other stuff. That when you come into this third generation, then you've got that the system is designed to break up the family unit. Like a lot of single parents, you know, what happens with single parents? The mother gets incentives by the government, and the father gets all the like the child support, right? So the father's getting beat down. You know, you've got then domestic violence, you've got AVOs, you've got in and out of system, maybe jail, maybe all of this stuff. You know, what do they turn to? They turn to alcohol. They turn poker machines. They turn to gambling. They turn to all these things, right? So if you just look at all of that line, but then just see this innocent kid, doesn't know anything about it, and then they get to their 20s and they've gone through all of that, it's like, fuck. Like, their programming from such a young age thinks that this is all normal, but it's not really normal. It's this lineage of trauma that it comes down to them. That's what I found with myself, with my work, that my parents weren't strong enough to get rid of that pain. It took me to rip that fucking Band-Aid off and look at myself in the mirror and go, fuck, if I don't stop, I'm going to be just like them, where there's no responsibility, and it's like, it's all about them. It's selfishness. That generation, there's narcissists, there's all of these things. So from into this generation, this society, you've got suicide, you've got fucking mental health, and all of these other things, you know, food and porn and whatever. So that's my understanding, and that's how I look at it. So for me to see that and to work, I go and reach out to people and go, hey, you should hear my journey. Like, I'm 4 years sober. I started running. I left that world. I've done this. I've done that. You know, there's all these things. So I'll reach out to people and say, hey, let's talk, because I feel like I've got the answer to fix it, you know. And this is where I've clashed with people in that space where they just ignore you like you don't exist, or they selling something, you know. So yeah, so that's why when I seen the gorilla, I'm like, yeah, it's good, you know. But I should have. I was going to stop and say something. So
should have.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So
everyone was stopped.
Yeah.
As well with AJ there as well. I'm pretty sure for a bit.
Well, yeah, but what happened? He stopped, and I kept going on the skillion. Okay. And then so that's he must have been there with you guys then. Maybe he was the one that posted the photo. But I
might have shared it.
I seen something, yeah.
Do you have any siblings as well?
I've got a sister and a half sister. I've got a full sister that's older, and then I've got a half sister that's half. She's 20-something, 21, 22, maybe. I don't know.
How old are you?
40. So there's 10 years between me and my sister, and then there's 20 years between me and my other sister. And it's interesting seeing that between, like, just
that. You say 10 years.
10 years between me and my sister that shares the same mum and dad.
Yeah. How do you feel the difference with you and her? I was like, my sister and I were 3 years apart. Difference just in that 3 years. So that 10-year difference.
You know,
how does that feel?
Well, I've had such a strange relationship with my sister that probably over the last 7 years that we don't talk, and we might go 12 months, no talking. We might go 6 months. But a lot of our headbutting is political, because I like to talk, and I like to talk about stuff, but there's something that's going in not the political realm, but the narrative of what is the talking point, what is the allowed thing to talk about, especially since when COVID come along, and you had the 2016 Donald Trump presidential election. You've seen like this people take this side and start to attack, and it's like you've got virtual signaling, which BLM, and there's all these things I won't mention, in a way of what virtual signaling is. It goes as with the mask and all of these things. So there's there's a side where my sister will cheerlead for this part that's which is under, I like to call it, just say mind control. It's under like hypnosis, where it believes everything that comes off the TV. Where if you go and put your information, you're then attacked because you're labeled. It's like what happens to Kanye. It's like what happened to Andrew Tate. Like Andrew Tate, he's a misogynist, you know. Or what do you do? Donald Trump, he's there's words that they use for Donald Trump, but it's always words. It's labeling. It's triggering. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're anti this. You're this. You're this. So that's where I'm with my sister. Like I can't even talk about stuff that goes on because they're very tense, because their world, their environment is everything that's programmed, you know, off the TV. Like fear of dying from a virus. Now fear of this war. You know, it's always fear. It's always fear. So yeah, so we don't talk. Yeah, we don't talk, and it's very strange. And this is again going back to this trauma, this ancestral pain, where it's like some people don't want to deal with it, some people want to ignore it. There are different names. I don't know how familiar you are with some of these things, but people have been getting around and saying that we may live in a simulation, right? People are calling certain individuals NPCs. People are calling certain individuals sheep, right? People are
NPC,
a non-player character.
Like, oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be an NPC. You'd probably be an NPC before you started running and setting out all these goals, because you probably would have just been doing doing what everyone else is doing, right?
Yeah,
sitting on the lounge watching other people's stories. Yeah. You know, not that guy that now people are watching your story.
Making your own movie.
Yeah. So you are now creating your reality, which means that you are the player in your game now. You know, so the NPCs would be just doing what everyone else is doing, right? But unaware, just in that constant program. Yeah. And there's a lot of it. There's a lot of it that's happening. So I've tried very hard to reconnect. Quite a lot, but there's too many differences. So you have to disconnect. You have to disconnect, and you have to let go, and just let people do their thing. Yeah. Why'd you ask that about the?
I just when I was going through the change, when I started running, I went just through massive like personality fucking blow up, just like so different. Learning a lot of shit, etc., etc. And I went through this podcast, and one of the things on the episode was two people can be brought up by like the same like mum and dad, same environment, but turn out
completely different.
Two ends of the spectrum. And like one of the stories is like two guys had their upbringing. One ended up being murderer, one ended up being a highly successful like businessman, like true story. And the reporter asked both of them the same question. It was like, why do you think you turned out the way you did? And they both answered this exact same way. They both said, because of my parents. It's like two ends of the spectrum of how they perceived their life, how they've gone about their own life, and like what the outcome has, what was. So I think that's, I don't know, like, it's interesting to see like people from the same environment, same parents, turn out so fucking different.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of something very similar, I think today, in a way of me trying to express or explain something. And that would be like, but the way I was thinking it was in a shoebox, but you wouldn't live in a shoebox, right? But just imagine, just imagine like you lived in a shoebox, right? But you lived in a shoebox your whole entire life for like 30 years. And then you had someone that didn't live in a shoebox, that lived in like, I don't know, open space with unlimited access to everything. As soon as you pulled that person out of that shoebox and put them in that environment of access to everything, their mindset and their perception of reality would still be that they were in the shoebox, because
I can't see that.
Yeah, and but my point was that you become what you consume, and that your reality is based on your perception of that. So, you know, if you want to, you know, go home, put the TV on and put the news on, and within the first 5 minutes, they've already told you that there's 15 car accidents and everyone died. They've told you an old lady's been stabbed. They've told you that there's been a carjacking. They've told you fucking Putin's blowing shit up. They tell you that there's a new variant. You know, they'll go and tell you that the latest, or the new the new prime minister's funding for fucking nuclear submarines. You know, this is all going on in 15 minutes where you're like, you know, and you're like, fuck. And then you like flick the channel and it's like, and you know, you can't escape it, right? Same shit on the radio and whatever. And it's like, and then you got these mind numbing content through TV shows. It's not reality, right? And you know, you have someone else that just doesn't have that life, doesn't watch TV, doesn't listen to the radio, and just goes out and goes, fuck, there's like, seriously, there's more inner peace out here. You know, like you're just this mind slave that is the NPC, you know, and there's a lot of people living life like that. Yeah, I think it's by design. I think the whole mental health thing is by design. The whole "Are you okay?" day banner. I think this is what I think. I think it's the biggest kick to the dick to men, right? I think because in some ways it does have an answer. But the things that say I do or you do is sort of the answer, right? This is what you've got to do. You can't keep living that life that is making you feel that way. You have to change. By changing, you have to eat better food. You have to get up earlier. You have to go and train. You have to make yourself feel good, right? That's the answer. You've got to rewire the program. There's a solution. But that message isn't really told, right? It's just this.
It's starting to get there, though, I feel.
Yes, correct.
When you probably easier for us, we probably can. That's what we consume. That's what we see every day.
Yeah,
if we were to go on Instagram or Facebook, that's what we see because that's how we live.
Yeah.
If you don't live that way, you might not see all that shit.
No, correct. And before I lose where I'm going with this, let me just put that piece back together. So I feel that in society there is the demasculinization of men, right? They don't want masculine males out there for some reason. Like I go back and say, you know, in the 80s and the 90s, you've seen the home unit or the family unit break up. So there's something that's going on, right? So you got that demasculinization of males, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, now we're just going to get a group of men and put them in a category, and label them and put them in a category. So if you're feeling weirded out and you're 40, you're 50. We got a day for you. It's called "Are You Okay?" That's where you belong in your community. It's like, you know, it's like we got sports car like V8 supercars. We've got football supporters. We've got all these different supporters. It's just like this category that it's like, well, we're just going to put you in over here, and the message is, that it's okay, or like, you know, it's okay to speak up to someone and just say, are you okay? It's like, well, no, I'm not fucking okay, right? I want more. You know what I mean? And I want more than 4 letters with R, U, O, and K. I want more than that, you know. And it's like there needs to be more fucking action, right? Because where it's like in society, it's getting worse and worse. But this is what's good, seeing the things that you're doing, and seeing the things that I keep going to call him Ken Brockman, but Ned. I get because it's got 2 D's in the Ned. I'm like, for some reason, I just think of a K. But yeah, but it's good to see. And like, there's young dudes like yourself that are like savages, man, that are going out and getting after it. And that's what's good. And it's like, it's almost like your generation is what needs to save the day, you know, going into your 30s and 40s, because it's like there's some men out there, man, that get to their 35, get to like 35, 40, and they just give up. They've had a family, kids, and they don't do nothing no more. Uber Eats, Netflix, go to work, you know, go become I was going to say crane driver, but I don't want to slander people that are crane drivers. I don't mean a crane driver. I just mean like the
something not fulfilling,
like the government job. I like, you know, roadworks or something. You know, crane driving's good, but I mean like roadworks. You know, and just getting your fucking 50-hour week, working your 50-hour week. You know, there's more to life than that. But yeah, so yeah, it's in your generation. So yeah, it's good to see. So I'm rambling here, but I'm going to pass it. I'm going to pass the bike. So tell me about the because we only touched on it a little bit, the 24-hour and the 50 marathons, 40 days. What are you going to do for your training for that? Just throw it at me.
Cool. Well, for the marathons, we did the 20 on halves and 20 on days. That was sort of like the big training, probably just like getting a feel of doing a big distance every day for a certain amount of days. Obviously in that I learnt like just the power of just showing up, just getting it done.
That's it.
Just getting, it was for 21 days, it was a non-negotiable that I had to get 21.1 Ks fucking ran, and like I couldn't break it up. I had to do it in one go, and it was just that the power of showing up and then non-negotiable that was fucking powerful. And through those 21 days, you build so much momentum, whether that be mentally, physically, but then you get all the other fucking amazing perks of just like meeting awesome people. You connect with other dudes, other girls online that are doing freaking good shit as well. And when I was doing my halves, when I started my halves, he must have been day 29, because his last day was my last day. He did 50 days of 50 Ks every day, and then he finished on 100K. That's why I'm finishing on 100K, because I got that little inspo of him.
So you're doing 50 Ks for 50 days.
I'm doing 42.2. I'm doing a marathon every day.
So you're doing a marathon every day for
49 days.
For
the last day,
you're doing 100K.
100Ks.
Far out. Where you going to do the 100?
Around Terrigal. So I did for the 21 halves. I finished on a marathon. I just did the loop around the surf club and around the Haven Oval. No hill, like none of the dog park was in. Flat as possible. But yeah, so end up being about, it's a mile loop, so 1.6K. So it'll end up being maybe
1.6K,
60 laps. Does that work out to be? I haven't figured out the maths yet. Getting this UTA done first and then working all that out.
I feel like it would be like
60 odd,
68 or something, 67, whatever a marathon works out to be.
Yeah.
or sorry, marathon, a mile. What a mile works out. Yeah, so it's 1.6. You know, Cam Haynes and Ned, yeah, and Nick Bear. You know, these dudes, fucking like these Americans, running like these sub 3 hour marathons, and when they talk about the pace, Ned was saying because they done that, would they do 35 miles on that the lift run shoot day, 35 or 36 miles,
something like that.
but he's saying he was converting it to on the thing, but he's saying that they were running a 5-minute pace, which is 7 minutes 17 miles. So sorry, did I say 17? Sorry, so many sevens. 7 minute
miles.
7 minute and 17-second miles. Yeah, right. But I was
fast.
but man, I go and run miles and it's like high 8s and low 9s. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like I feel like they're running 6 and 7 minute miles, which I'm like a high 3-minute Ks or fuck, like what's going on with these Americans? And they're Nick Bear's a big dude as well, and he's fucking flying. I don't know how he does it. I really do not know how he does it. I don't know how anyone over 90 Ks can move that quick. Like, but I suppose they got the length as well. So they're that cadence. Look, man, I struggle. So when I see people like that, I'm like, fuck, it must be because I'm shorter than them. Because shorter legs, it's like so hard for me to go real fast. But yeah, do you have I already know the answer to this because you're running with Emma. But I was going to say, did you have a set pace that you were going to do the 100?
Whatever 18 to 20 hours works out to be. So it works out, if we wanted to get it done under 20 hours, we have to at least just do 5K every hour on average, basically. Anything
That's all. So that's all it is.
That's all it is.
I was looking at remember how I told you about the guy with the challenge? There's a massive story.
What challenge?
With the 24-hour.
Oh yeah.
So he was friends with another person that done the 100 in 2021, and I've got his stats, but he done it in 24 hours. So
did the 100 in 24 hours?
He done 100 in 24 hours.
What race is that?
That's the 100. So the UTA.
Oh, UTA.
Yeah. But so you've got the.
That's rough. 24 hours.
Well, where is it?
You're wrecked.
It was. So the 6-foot track, which is the 47K.
Yeah, something like that.
Right. It was 7 hours 58 minutes.
That's when he got there.
7 hours 58. Right. Then the next station, which is the 57, so it must be 42 to 57. So Katoomba Aquatic Centre. So he got to
6 foot.
6 foot, 7 hours 58 minutes.
58, yeah.
What do you think he got to the next checkpoint at?
10.5 hours.
11. So
yeah, it took him 5K average.
3.5.
3.5 hours to do 15 Ks.
Yep. And then it was literally 4 hours, pretty much, to do 10K every checkpoint. But he got he said that like at that point, that 40 odd K mark, he broke and he couldn't use his legs. He said he couldn't run, and then he had to go on a drip because he got radbo. Don't know if you ever heard of radbo. It's where your muscles break down, and then it goes in through your kidneys, and then you can get kidney damage / kidney failure. So anyway, as long as I beat him.
Well, last year I remember looking at my watch. I did 70 Ks on the 10-hour mark on the dot, basically. So I was averaging 7 Ks on the hour every hour for that first 10 hours. The next 30 Ks took me 7 hours 15.
Why did it take you?
It was just fucked.
It's not the answer I wanted. It was just fucked.
It was the 70K mark. It was still light at 70 Ks last year, which was great. It was daylight savings. It wasn't so cold. It was like beautiful running weather during October last year, as you were there. It was 17, 18 odd degrees. It was a lot better than what will be this year. Like trying to regulate heat will be the problem this year at some points, especially during the night, and all the mist and all the fog, etc. Anyway, but yeah, it took 10 hours to do 70 Ks last year, and then the next 30 Ks took me 7 hours 15. It just got to like dusk, sun going down, or dawn, and you chuck your high vis on, and I think it was the checkpoint 77 Ks in, and
that was
dark, and that was the like, holy shit, this next 20 Ks is gonna be death, and it was, and that was the most vulnerable state I've been in my life ever.
Hey everyone, so it's the day.
Have you seen this?
I have not.
Okay. So this was last year's one.
Yeah. How long did this guy take?
Oh, this is the thing.
Oh, is this a 24-hour guy?
No. No, that was 2021. So this guy was last year. If you watch how he ran it, you go, it doesn't make sense because I feel like he didn't run it. It was like he done it in 16 hours.
That's pretty good.
And
you caught a plane there.
So okay. So what did you face? Oh, see, I don't know the track. If it was the track that we got this year and the year before, I know where you're talking about, but it was completely different.
It's when we hit. It's from basically the finish line to Fairmont. That was the last 10 Ks last year.
Yeah, well, I remember
9 hours 51 minutes.
I know. It said on the on one of the things that someone's expected to come in at like 8 hours
this year.
Yeah, like it's like 8 hours. Like the first finish is expected to come in. That's this year, isn't it?
Yeah, that's this year. But yeah, no, go back. It was like all of that. That was where that's what we came up basically. Fairmont, where's Fairmont? Number 5, isn't it? Number 5, Fairmont. Looks like it. Basically all that, you like come up and maybe like around this point was like
because you
Queen Vic maybe.
You ran through here, didn't you?
Yeah, we went out
and then come back. So yeah, you would have been 83 Ks at Lura Fairmont. Because
Fairmont was 87. Fairmont was always 87 Ks last year.
Oh,
it was
okay.
I
think
it was
like
last checkpoint.
I feel like it was 13 or 17 Ks. So did you come around the cliff or through the streets?
Cliff, definitely.
Was it throwing you out in the streets?
Not for long.
And then bringing you back in and going back in? And I was like...
That's what you would have.
That broke me. Well. Yeah, that broke me because I'm like, fuck. Well, so what? So did you... Queen Vic, you went to Queen Vic?
Yeah, that was way out.
On the way out. So you didn't come back through that way, Queen Vic? I was trying to figure out where 70k where 70k was, but why?
It was definitely a checkpoint because we had a fire, we had a campfire, we had tents and that, food. I'm sure it was Queen Vic.
I don't think that part of the track was.
Yeah, further down.
I don't think.
One of your checkpoints was Queen Vic, was it not? Your second checkpoint was Queen Vic.
No.
What was that?
No, because Queen Vic is. Yeah, look, I'll show you. Man, I really wish we had the track of 2022.
Go to like images maybe.
Okay, so that's Queen Vic, right?
Yeah.
But we didn't run there. We come through here, I think. Because
Type up.
hang on one sec.
Type up 2022 map on just like Google and go like and go in images.
Because maybe we did. Because I know that there was like a turnaround point, and then we come back and there was this big aid station. But I remember you guys. Maybe that is there then. Did you guys run along here?
I can't remember exactly. No.
All right, so what? Let's have a look.
Try type up 2022 race map.
Oh, 2022.
Yeah, last year. 2022 map. Something. Go to like images or something. It's got to be there somewhere, surely.
What is that there? Must include 2022. What's this?
I got it somewhere in my photos, definitely.
That's not what I wanted. Oh, it's 18.
Might take a little bit because connection's a bit hang on, but I definitely have it in the group chat somewhere.
Anyway, yeah, because anyway, this is old mate here. Look, hang on, let's just check him out for a sec. I don't think that's him there running, but a lot of it he's walking.
This is last year.
This is last year, yeah.
This is the start of the race. This is like 15k in, going through. Maybe less.
7, 8. See how he's walking here, right? He's doing a lot of walking, a lot of recording, and he does it in 16 hours. I don't know how he.
I reckon I ran and walked about half and half, and I did it 17 hours.
Do you know the? If you actually can find it, you can send it to me, and I can put it up there.
Nah.
Well, that's yeah, it's only if you want to go in and talk about it. But the elevation was a lot different as well, wasn't it?
1,600 less up meters, 1,600 meters less up, which is a lot.
So
It makes a difference.
I remember, hang on, was that?
Do you see yourself?
I don't know. I felt like I did. That's definitely not me.
Go through again. Just play.
Hang on, I'm going to just skip here and then go back.
Funny if you did.
Yeah, no.
Play through again.
Just play?
Just
Yeah.
like 5 seconds.
Were you in this pack, you reckon?
Where is it? This bit.
This was just after Lura. This is where
We had to freaking stop for that
Yep.
water fucking
Yep.
thing.
yeah, not that creek jump because there was two. Yeah, this is 20. Just like took 20 minutes. This one,
Yeah. I've got to have it somewhere.
but yeah, I was getting some shit from some people. They were calling me Mr. PEDs.
Why is that?
And I got to a part and I just went,
I got it.
I think I said, hey, fuck you.
I got it.
You going to send it to me?
Would send it like text?
Yeah, send a text.
So, yeah. Checkpoint 4 was Queen Vic last year for us. And that was 78 Ks. So it was 78K. After that checkpoint was my breaking point for 20 Ks.
It's a very
And I was
staticky
photo.
Doesn't matter. We'll be alright. We'll just say it.
If I airdrop it, maybe.
Is it clear for you or not?
Yeah, airdrop's way better.
All right, airdrop it then. Here, let me turn myself on.
But yeah, from that,
Airdrop it.
going for it.
Oh, you sent it to my iPad.
Oh, did I? I'll send it to your phone.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's a bit better.
Yeah, it should be better airdropped. Best thing about UCA, you don't have to run it all. That's the best bit, because you're not going to run it all. Last year it was like about half and half, I reckon, and I think I still even feel it'll be. I'll walk more this year.
Yeah, but see how he's walking. This is what I mean. Like the dude's he's just walking, and look at it there. It looks like a chimpanzee. All right, so we don't need that one, do we? All right, cool.
There you go.
All right, so let's just blow it up. And can I? Oh wow, it's so weird.
King's Tableland Road. That's what I was trying to think of.
So you
We get to like we don't even go Tablelands Road. We don't get to that checkpoint 2 at all. I don't think this year, because we go down there, don't we?
Yeah.
On the normal track. Yeah, Matt. Have you got your gear checked off as well?
yeah, didn't you see my thing I posted?
Like you got your letter?
Yeah. Didn't you see it?
Where'd you put up?
Instagram.
When did you go get it ticked off?
Yesterday at oh, there we go.
How did I not see that?
Okay.
Wentworth 5. So 5 is Queen Vic, yes? Yeah. So that's that. 4 there is 5 there.
So
that's what we go
okay.
down.
So that's that loop part at Fairmont,
Yeah.
and we come back around. We must have
Fairmont's number 5 there.
Yeah, so you come back this way?
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
okay, that's the way we come. All right, so where's that then?
There. That's the down. That's when we go back up. See that?
Oh, so you kept running here.
Yeah. Yeah. And we went off over there to put in more Ks basically. Because there was supposed to be a water point there. We got there, everyone's thinking we got water. There was no water. And we're like, how why do we have to more water? Because they didn't have enough volunteers.
What was there? What was there?
A turnaround. We were supposed to have water, but they didn't get enough volunteers to be able to do it.
So you went 1, 2, 3, then you come back?
No. We went down and we went out there,
Right.
back, then down, and back up.
Oh, that way. Therefore, water. Why does that look so different?
Because you don't go down as far. Like that's what you're pointing out right now on this map. And that's what you go down. That's the little fucking hook down here. You climb the cliff face. You descend on the cliff face. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay. All right, so I got you now. So when you broke here.
That's our yeah.
Where
just
was
after that.
So where did you hit when it just got dark?
Oh, it was pitch black after I left that 4th checkpoint
So pitch black. So you ran from the dark from here
to finish.
there,
The last
and
20,
that part
20
took
Ks.
and that part took you 7 hours.
From 70 from the 70th K mark. So it was before that.
So where was that? About here?
Must be somewhere there, yeah. Somewhere along there.
Right, man. So it took you 7 hours. And what do you put that down to? Do you put that bit down because it was dark, legs were sore?
Everything was fucking hurting. Like worst, not the worst pain at that point, but like I was in pain from hips down. Like everything was just hurting. I was surprised I didn't cramp more, to be honest. But yeah, everything sort of just went shut down, and I wanted to stop, and I was like, I'm not fucking stopping. I don't know, yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I just lost. I didn't lose the mental. I never had a glimpse of like I'm stopping. Like, never had a glimpse of like this is over, done with. I just all that was going through my head ever since I hit the point of like that mental, that just big pain cave. All that was going through the head was like, just keep moving, I don't care how fucking slow you're going, but just keep moving. And that's what I did for the next 20 odd Ks basically. Until I got to Fairmont, I broke down and then kept going after. Like,
So
basically cried for like 2-3 Ks leading into that. I poured my eyes out. And like 2-3 Ks to Fairmont was about 40 minutes.
oh, I want this one.
With the Ks.
Yes.
Yeah. How'd you get that?
Fuck, I don't know, but
Wait, that's 2021, no?
no.
Go UTA 21.
No.
2021. It's the same course though, isn't it?
Saving it. Don't know.
Yeah, because the one this year they gave us on the runner's guide didn't have the Ks that the thing are at.
Yeah, nice. All right, cool. All right, so this is where 6 foot track.
All of this east way is foreign to me. I've never ran it or never walked it, so that will be interesting.
Yeah. Well, we're running this in the dark.
Most definitely.
So do you
If Emma and I's goal, if we can complete at least 65 Ks before it gets dark, we're happy. At least, because it'll be 7:30 to 5:30.
That's
10 hours. We got about 10 hours to run in light.
That's there. That's 69. That's 69 Ks there.
Well, that's Fairmont, which is now
Water point.
which is not a water point this year. It's an actual checkpoint. Because that's not a checkpoint this year. That's a water point. So them two are switched. Does that make sense?
So what? You can't get water up at Fairmont?
At Fairmont, it's a whole checkpoint, so you get everything.
Oh yeah.
But at number 6 this year, it's just a water point.
They just give you water
It's just like a
and chips and
aid
stuff.
station. I don't know about hydration, nutrition, but definitely water.
What? Okay, so how many times have you looked at this map?
Oh, a good number of times.
Are you?
I just never ran any of this. Or
Well, from here.
to be fair, last year I hadn't ran any of the course.
What's okay? So from here to here
Yeah.
is about 10, 11 Ks of sort of
Rolling hill.
up and down. So actually, that doesn't look right. Okay, well then you must be up the top. All right, well then yeah, look, that's pretty much where we're going to be, and then we're going to climb up those stairs. So we must descend down. So we must run. Okay, yeah. So we run out of here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Do we go that way? Out of it. Finish. Start. Okay, so we start. So yeah, so we run along here, up to there,
Come back.
and we come back.
Yeah, that's what we did last. You did that last year.
Yeah, yeah, and then we come around there. All right, cool. All right, so then
Is Narrow Neck? Is that the same checkpoint? Is that the first checkpoint this year? Isn't it different?
yeah, so it's
Is it Narrow Neck this year, or is it something different?
Narrow Neck and then Foggy Knob.
Is
So
that this year?
I don't know why
as well?
Narrow Neck is.
Because that's
No, it's changed.
Yeah,
it's
it's different.
So anyway, so either way, I think.
it's still like the same Ks ish.
So what do you where do you think you'll be?
When it gets dark, or
Because I was going through my friend that's coming with us, who's going to be on my aid stations, checkpoints and support crew. He's going to be at 4, 5, and 6. So I'm just going to call it 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to call Fairmont 5 and 6. So I'm like not. I'm saying like 9 hours. About there. I was at like 3:30, 4 o'clock. I want to be there by 3:30, 4 o'clock.
how many Ks is it to there? It's like 50
57.
Yeah, with 9 hours it'd be 4 o'clock. Yeah.
That's only if you were to look at a 50K run. What would you do a 50K run in? You go 7 hours, 7, 8 hours, right? Knowing that you've just got to run 50 and you can go fast. But
100. You got number 50 after that.
so it's like, well, at what point do you stick it? I feel like once you get here, like it's fucking easy. I don't know. I feel that my struggle will be Anyway, no one can see what we're looking at here. Doesn't matter. We can cut these parts out, whatever parts that I need in there. But yeah, and then we blitz through here. Fuck, that's hard. That's hard there.
Cliff, Prince Henry Cliff.
Yeah, but I feel that that's downhill though.
Yeah.
I feel that, yeah, so the guy in the altitude room, he said that climb there takes about 30, 40 minutes. That climb there. But, I mean, look, I feel it's...
Look at the fucking 80K mark.
Yeah, I know.
Going down, that's going to be tough. You're going down 800 meters in what? 7 odd Ks.
Well,
That's a lot.
if you look at that last 15 Ks, that's pain. That's it.
That's more than fucking pain.
Yeah, that's
That's going to be worse than last year.
oh fuck yeah. Yeah, that's the killer. Yeah, that will take fucking 3 hours itself. Maybe not. But I'm just
10K, it could.
yeah.
It could.
I'm looking at 10 Ks every 2 hours.
So yeah, 5K every hour, which will finish you in about 20 hours. So if you could if we could do up to that 50K point, if we can do 60, if we can get to the 60K mark in 10 hours, then you're giving yourself 10 hours to do 40Ks, which I think is doable for that bit there. That's sort of how I'm thinking it with Emma. Because I did 70, think about that, I did 70 Ks in 10 hours, obviously less elevation. 60 Ks seems doable in 10 hours for the first 10 hours.
But you're going to have someone with you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot.
It'll be a lot of working out on a day, to be honest.
Is that it there?
No.
So the one you said what had nothing there?
No.
But look how he's moving here. He's like basically walking, and he does it in 16 hours. I don't know. When I feel that whenever I tell people that I run ultras, it's like you don't because you walk.
Yeah. The best bit about it, you don't have to run it all.
What checkpoint was this? Do you reckon? Do you know?
Looks like Fairmont. Yeah, definitely Fairmont. Fairmont was like
when I was watching this the other day. Like he hooks into some chips here. Oh. There, those Smith chips. I know what that tastes like. Like at that point, I know what those taste like.
At Fairmont, 87K mark, checkpoint 5. That was the first time I sat down in the whole 100K as well.
Did you want to get up?
I was not when I first sat down, but I had volunteers there obviously, and he filled my water, got me food, and did everything for me at that checkpoint.
Was there many people around?
It was packed.
Packed?
Yeah, it's still packed. No, I got there at 10 p.m. maybe. I got to Fairmont last year. Would have been about 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
It took me 3 hours to do that last 10Ks. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's 3-4 hours. That 10Ks. That's going to be the. Look, they're not meant to be easy. They're designed to break you.
It fucking broke me. Just that one of the things I got out of UTA last year. I'm never one. I never get angry.
Really?
Like I'm such a mellow fucking guy in really any situation. Like I revert more to like shutting it down than letting it out, if that makes sense. Like I'd keep to myself other than exploding on to like people. If that makes sense. But yeah, it was the one feeling that I never expressed, which I expressed during that 100K, like yelling out shit, hitting the fucking poles, hitting like slapping the trees.
You were doing that?
I was doing that for like the last
What were you yelling?
in like the last 15Ks ish.
What were you yelling?
I was just swearing my fucking head off at some points, and I fucking
Like screaming?
stop. Like there's so many fucking stairs, like it won't fucking stop. And like what other things like crying, sobbing, like uncontrollably. Like I could not control it at all. Like yeah, it was that was an experiencing that fucking not being able to control my fucking emotions.
He ran that last bit. He walked the whole video.
That's what you do. You got to run the last bit.
I know.
Well, when you come out at Senior World last year and I heard a guy was like 200 meters, mate, and like everything leaves your body.
Yeah.
You don't nothing.
Yeah.
You're a free fucking soul.
Yeah.
Like I ran so freely for that last 200 meters. As soon as I finished, different story.
I took down. There was 3 people, I think, coming around the bend, and I just. You can see them in my photo. You can see him on my photo. You were saying something then. I was gonna. I was gonna tell you a story about when I ran my first 50K.
When was that?
March 2020. Snowy's Ultra, Threadboat. Yep. I miscalculated the track. I misread the track. I thought the first 18 to 21Ks was semi-flat. And then the climb was 21Ks to 35Ks. And then the rest was sort of downhill. But it was all mountain bike rolling tracks. And so it was uphill, downhill. So I gassed out. I was running way too quick, way too soon. Anyway, gone into the 21K mark, and then we started to climb this mountain up to the 28K. And then, so the water point, the checkpoint was, the water station was, well, the bag drop was 35Ks. And you go up and then you come back and return. So I remember, or it might have been 37Ks, I'm not sure. So I remember you bump into like a support crew, like on this bend. And I'm like, they were like, oh, 3Ks to go. And so I looked at my watch, it was like 32Ks. And then I'd run, and then you get to like 33Ks, 34Ks. I was like, oh fuck! I'm sure they said 3Ks. It's been 3Ks, but the person before was like, oh, it's just up there, 2Ks. But then people were coming back, so people were running back, and I went, oh, how much further? The amount of people that said, I don't know. I'm like, how? And I was like, how much further? One person was like, oh, not far. I'm like, but this was going on for like 7Ks, climbing up this mountain. It's been going on since the 28K mark. So 28K, 34, 33. And then like all these people were running past me. And oh fuck, how much? And so like 3 or 4 people, I said, like, am I far? And one person was like, oh, I'm not too sure. And I just turned around and yelled. I was like, what the fuck do you mean? You just fucking ran from there. I was like screaming. I was just so pissed off. I'm like, how do you not know? But, you know, coming back, I was thinking, what was the answer that I wanted? Like, it was the answer that I wanted 260 meters, 5 minutes. Like, just keep, like, I wanted a different answer. But yeah, I've lost my shit on a few of them. The Run Larapinta, the stage race I done in stage 3, my body just broke down and fucking. Took me 10 hours to run the second stage, which was 40Ks. My body fucked up at the 14K mark, and then probably around into the 30s, we climbed this fucking mountain, and then just like this one mountain was like over a K to climb, and then it was like 400 meters down and through this gorge, and then up 800 meters, and then down and along this ridge line. At the top of the 40K, the 1K mountain, but my legs weren't even working. I couldn't even walk down. I had one pole. So yes,
the other one broke, didn't it?
No, I didn't take them on this one. I was using my friends. My friend had one, I had one. But anyway, so I took them for the next one, but my body was beat down, and I just like fucking snapped my sticks and threw them. I flicked them. I think I like smashed on the floor and it snapped, and I think I threw it, and I was like, "Fuck it, motherfucker, get fucked." And I looked over, and there was the pacer. She's like, "Fucking God." I was like, "Oh no, she's gonna think I'm a fucking asshole." But yeah, it's and that's what I don't want to come to on this. I don't want my body to break down like that. That, you know, the next day my piss was fucking dark brown. It was fucked. If I didn't pull out of the 30, I had to pull out of the stage 3, 6 or 7 Ks in, because I wasn't going to make it to the first checkpoint, which was 12 Ks, with the pacer already caught up to me. And said even if she got me to that one, whether I'd be able to continue. So I'm like, fuck it, I want to finish the event. So luckily I did pull out, man, because there was some shit that I didn't even know that was happening to my body, which was that kidney breakdown. Someone said to me, I took a piss and it was like almost, it was dark brown. And someone said, oh, that's your muscles pissing out, like, because your muscles are breaking down and you're pissing them out. So I could have died. Luckily, who knows if I could have died? I don't know. I'm going to say I could have died, but that's probably why I pulled out. But man, my body, my body was like not moving, not having it. So yeah, I don't want to get to that point with this 100. Yeah. But if I do, it's like, well, if I push on, will I die? I don't want to die. I've got a son. I've got a son now. So.
We got 28 hours this year.
The maximum?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I hope I don't roll through there at 7 a.m. the next day. I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna be so angry. I don't think so. I think I just got to keep moving and just be in the flow.
Enjoy it as much as you can, though, until you hit that point where you can't enjoy it, because there's definitely that point where you hit that. I think last year I went out way too, like I got way too caught up in the hype and the excitement at the start in the first 15Ks. I looked at my watch at like 11, 12K mark, and maybe even a little bit before that, and my heart rate was like 180, 190. I was like,
oh really?
Oh fuck! I need to relax.
Yeah.
I need to, for a bit. I need to settle myself down because I'm just like buzzing.
Yeah.
I need to relax.
Yeah.
And fix that.
Was it a fast pace, or you were just?
Nah, I was probably going a bit too fast, and it was a bit of hills, but it was going through the road, so it wasn't too bad. So I thought it was all right. And yeah, I saw the high rate. I was like, oh, fuck, I need to relax here. And I was running with someone as well. I met this guy for the first time. He did the 100 as well. He did it in 21 hours, 20 hours. So he came in a couple of hours after me, and I crossed him 2-3 times, because there was 2 times where you crossed each other, and I saw him. Feel for you, because I know how far you're behind. Like, you got a couple of hours in front of me.
Yeah.
Anyway, he finished it, so props to him.
Yeah.
Where was I going with that?
Where were you going with that?
What were we talking about?
Going too fast, your heart rate.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, it's at the start of the race. As much as I want to enjoy it, I need to check myself and be like, you still got 100 Ks left to fucking run.
I know.
Or left to travel.
I know.
So yeah, enjoy it. Like what I'm getting into it this year. Like, enjoy it, and you'll be with Emma, so it's a whole other experience being with someone the whole way. But check yourself early. Don't get too caught up.
You guys are running side by side?
Side by side for the whole 100. That's the plan. The only reason we don't is if one of us have to DNF, have to pull out, basically.
If it's 70 or 80 Ks and someone says to the other person, look, it's okay, go ahead, I'll be all right, do the rules change?
I guess we'll see when we get to that point. But I think that'll be a decision if we get to that point. But we shook on, we don't leave each other's side unless we have to do that.
That's a good deal.
And I said to her, like, when before she even signed up for the 100, she was like, why would you want to do it side by side with me? You can like compete. You can like, I want you to get the best time possible. And like, I'm not doing it for the time. Like, I have plenty of years to compete if I wanted to compete. Like, I don't, as much as I take running seriously, I don't take it seriously as in like a competition way. I take it seriously as an experience.
Pretty serious last Saturday.
No, that was different. That was a different zone. That was in like, what
good.
can I do today?
Yeah.
But yeah, especially the 100 last year, like I wasn't out there to win it, obviously, or to even, I was there to compete against me.
Yeah.
And that's what running is with me.
Yeah, those sort of
Me versus me.
Some people, when they go, "Oh, what did you come?" and you're like, "Probably last." I don't know. Some people word it in a way of like, "Oh, what did you play? Like, are you doing it to place?" Like, the fuck, no, doing it to survive. Fucking,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Doing it to finish.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Like I think I ended up coming like in the 800s out of 900 or something last year, and like it doesn't bother me. Like it's not what I was there for, so like it doesn't affect me. Like if I came last, fucking so be it. But I still ran 100 fucking Ks, and it's that journey. It was the journey of. It was not even like the day of the journey. It was the 18 months prior to that day. So May 2021 to last year October, everything in between that, I felt all that rush of emotion that week leading up to it, and especially that day. Like it all came to me. I was like, this, like, I'm doing good shit.
And that you're saying that's what drove your heart rate up?
Maybe,
You're talking about the finish line. You're talking about the emotion of the finish line.
Just all of it. So like, even the week leading up to it, I took the whole week off work to like process what the fuck I've just done in the last 18 months, which worked wonders. Like I really dove deep into my thoughts, into the journey, I guess you could say. And like I had numerous, not breakdowns, but like tears of like happiness. I'm like this is good shit. And like I've changed for the better. I'm doing things that make a fucking difference, not just for me. Like I obviously got to do things for myself, but I like to serve people in a way. I like to give back as much as I give to myself, because that's where I feel the most reward is to be able to give back. That's why I bring Top Blokes along with me through my events. It's one way of just giving back. And then other ways of just like running with people, running side by side with Emma's, I guess, a way to serve, and like serve myself and her. It's an experience we're giving each other, which not many people could say they'd be able to experience in a lifetime, running 100k side by side with someone that you fucking love. So I don't know, it's that. But yeah, there's the week leading up and the night before, and then obviously during the race, I think the first moment of like tears, or like first moment of like I guess not the right word, but like overstimulation. I was like about 30, 40 odd Ks, and I like wanted to brush it off because I didn't want to give it any energy, because I was like, I need energy to run. Like I can't waste my energy on fucking crying right now. I need to keep going. As much as I love to express it, but I was like, I can't use this energy on crying. I need to just focus. But you got to that point of like 75, 80 Ks, and I couldn't control it anymore. I had to let it all out. And like, in that broken stage. But yeah, that journey, most rewarding thing I've done in my life.
Do you feel like, I'm going to say leveling up. You've definitely leveled up, but do you feel energetically you're leveling up? Do you feel that there is a shift in something in this multiple versions of possible Jais or whatever, timeline you're facing? Do you feel like something, I feel like using the word quantum, but it's like, I don't know, maybe like a collective shift. I say this like this because I think it was 2021, the first or second? No. Yes, the first. Yes, it was 2021. The first 4x4x48 David Goggins challenge that I did. I done the first one 2021 and then second one 2022. But I felt that around the world there was like a bunch of dudes running every 4 hours, 4 miles for 48 hours. And I feel that collectively after I finished that and completed that, like I was the only fucking person in my neighborhood. You know, I could have probably been, how many people are in the state of New South Wales? Like I could have been 1 or 2 or 3 people maybe doing that, you know, like, so everyone else is doing their own thing, but you're doing this individually plus all the other people around the world. That itself forms a collective or some form of consciousness where, I don't know, I feel that when I finished it, I felt like I made this specific sacrifice that meant nothing to anyone or myself, that something changed within me where it opened up a door for someone to walk in my life. A friend of mine that I hadn't spoken to for like 12 months. And then we sort of connected on the last run, and that then steered us off into a few other running events over the next 12 months from there. So yeah, do you feel that like a shift when you cross that line, or days or weeks later?
I feel the latest one would have been the halves of the 20 and a half. So it's probably the big shift in that was like, yeah, you're leveling up. Like, you just surprise yourself, I feel. I'm very much always underestimate myself and what I can do. And like the big one for the halves was after 21 half marathons, I did a marathon. Not only did I do a marathon, I beat my previous marathon by like an hour and 40 minutes.
Is that the 6 hour one? No.
My first ever marathon was 2021, and that was 6 hours 50 minutes.
And that was the one, is that the one you beat on that?
I did a marathon 2022 Christmas Eve as well. That took 5 hours 40, 5 hours and a half maybe. It was freaking hot though, so like you had the heat there, but like still I beat, which was what, 2 months prior. 2 months prior, and like I wasn't running 20 half fucking marathons 20 days beforehand, but like I had the goal of running sub 4 hour for that 21st day, and not like I believed I was going to do it, but I knew what pace I had to set, and we set the pace, and I did it. But yeah, after knowing I could do just that challenge, it was that like again, what the fuck's next? Like, as much as the marathons are going to be fucked and it's going to be hard, how else, what other ways am I going to surprise myself other than just doing it?
Yeah. I know what there's a feeling that comes when it's done and it's over with. There's like that. It's like you go in this got to get it done mode, and then it's, you know, next. So your mind's like just stuck into, I've got to do it another day and another day, and it's finally over, and it's like, I done something, I achieved something, and I did it. It's like
I stuck to my word.
Yeah, and it's just like you get that realization of going, you know, like some of these runs that do around here, where they're 6K or whatever size, it's like that. Your mind through that struggle it's like it's fucking never ending, and it sucks. It's like I want to stop, but then like after it, you're like, I could have done more. and you can do more. So it's like you realize like your capabilities of like, fuck man, we are limitless. Like I want to go and say limitless, but I feel, yeah, we're not limited. We are limitless. That's it.
We limit ourselves.
Yeah, we limit ourselves. Like we just put this false barrier in front of us of going, oh, we can't do it because the mind's just, you know, just switch the mind off and let the body do it, and then just let the mind catch up. You know,
Gone on. People limit themselves. Like the girls I coach, there's so many of them that I've ran with, maybe 10 or more of them. And always beforehand, they're like, I'm not gonna keep up with you. I'm not gonna be able to run 10Ks. I'm not gonna run 5K, whatever they say. And every time I basically tell them, just come, and I'm not even gonna bet you. I know you're gonna surprise yourself. And I don't know if it's just, I feel it's that belief from me to them, which could spark it in a way, because it works every fucking time. Or it's just maybe my presence or my help in a way, or it's just them not believing it, and then them hearing that it could be possible, and they do it.
Yeah, it's probably that inner doubt. That's like, if they do, then they've told you before it's happened. Like, it's like, oh fuck, what if I fail? What if I quit? What if am I going to do it? Does he have expectations? Does he think I'm going to run fast? Does he? Da, 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 da.
And I always ease them, saying like, I'm not going to be running 4-minute Ks. I'm going to be running at an easy, comfortable pace, like you would be. No matter how slow that is, I don't care how slow that is. I'm running, and that's the main thing.
Did Ned inspire you to grow the mullet, or whatever it is?
No, that came along. Obviously, it's cut off now for the race, so it wasn't so annoying. 2021, I got my last haircut the day before the second lockdown in June, before they shut down everything again.
Oh yeah, then they stitch us up. 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Yeah.
Fucking
Anyway.
lasted till October 30th. Losers, aren't they?
But yeah, from that day, I hadn't had a haircut for ages, and then come the start of last year, I was like, I didn't know Ned then, so it wasn't from him. It was, I don't know, I just like fuck it, why don't we just cut it to a mullet and we'll go from there. And I think what sparked, we went on the boys' holiday in the February last year. We went up to Gold Coast, and we went out obviously to clubs and that, and I think it was the first ever really time I've gone out on a holiday without a relationship, and I sort of like let loose. And I don't know, I felt like the hair had fucking power.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, just like sparked that like personality. It was like it grew with my personality. I felt the mullet.
You probably haven't heard of this guy, but I think it's Warren Kappa. I think it's Warren, not Warwick. Warren Kappa.
Yeah.
He used to play for Sydney Swans in the 80s.
Kappa, no.
Warren Kappa, right?
Did he used to play for Collingwood as well?
I have no idea.
Other gays.
Is it Warren or Warwick? Anyway, he had a mullet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he had a mullet, and I swear to God, he was a fucking
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
He was there. There it is. There,
Kappa.
right? Look at it.
Yeah.
He was a fucking sex symbol. Every woman loved him, right? But anyway, so it's funny. I feel that the AFL original mullet is coming back, and there's out west where I used to train. Is that all there is of him?
Yeah, there should be more. It'll come back. Don't you worry. That long mullet will come back in July.
Well,
I'll just cut it for this face.
I remember there's dudes that go to the gym and they've got the mullet, and you just go out and go, fuck man, like they've got like big like afro here and then just this long hair, like it's curly at the front, And yeah, it seems like it's making its way come back in.
Then you have like younger boys like going through their teens and they just have like the short mullet, and
yeah,
they have the skullet.
but you know what,
they look shit.
It's weird because my hair is fucking ridiculously long, and it's not a mullet, but I don't know if I feel like can I switch the camera here? Or what? Yeah, there I am here. Right, so I don't know if I'm in the long hair category like those with mullets.
If you cut the top shorter.
I was actually thinking about the fringe, because last night, what was it doing? Oh, I had to go down to my friend's supplement store and go over. I think that's the business. The old not Kevin Cage, Nicolas Cage, Con Air look. Yeah, I was listening to the Ned podcast last night, and I was looking at his fringe, and I'm thinking, "Fuck, could I do that to my hair?" Because you got to, when you're doing something unique like that, you got to have an image about you, and that's yours stands out because you're doing all the wild running as well. Yeah, man. Well, look, we. It's 20:09.
It fucking flew.
Fuck. Well, look, we can wrap this up. So just to go back, so you're doing 50 marathons, 42 days, 42.
50 marathons in 50 consecutive days.
Okay, not 50 Ks, 50 days. So okay, that starts in August.
July,
that's right.
Goes through August, yeah.
50 marathons, 50 days, the 49 days. On the 50th day, you're doing 100K.
Correct.
Then October, you're doing a 24-hour event, which is the Skillion, Terrigal, 300 laps.
300 laps is the goal. Yeah, and that will be climbing Mount Everest.
300 laps.
The amount of elevation that I'll do. When I reach 300 laps.
300 laps. I'll be there cheering you on.
Be there doing a couple of hours.
Look,
we'll see.
This is your thing, and no one's going to steal that away from you. Man, I'll be sitting there on a chair for 24 hours watching you do it. We've got to move depending on where we move to, and if I'm about, I'm going there. Like, I'm there to support you because I like what you're doing. I love what you're doing. But my presence isn't going to steal this away from you. But I have thought about it, and I'm like, should do the first few and then the last few, or just come in at the very, because there's so many people going to be fucking running up and down with you. So I think, that last 4 hours, the 20-hour mark, when you're like, oh. So, well, you might surprise yourself. If there's
8 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So yeah, be
8 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Yeah, that's the plan. So I'll get a good solid sleep in at least somewhat.
There's a bodybuilder. He's dead now. He died in I think 2016 or 2018. His name's Rich Piana, and man, this guy just popped up from fucking nowhere, man. He is massive, right? But he's dead because of his lifestyle. But I remember he done this thing about growing an inch on your biceps, and he he's like the biggest guy in the world at the time. It was like, where the fuck did this guy just pop up from? There he is there. But just huge. Anyway, so he done this thing in the gym. It was like 8 hours in the gym just training, and It was a set of hammer curls, set of triceps, set of hammer curls, set of triceps, set of hammer curls for 8 hours. But it was like, I don't know if it was like so many sets in the hour, whether it was like a set of hammers. What was it? So hammer curls and tricep extensions or skull crushers. But I feel like it was like do 10, then stop for a bit. I feel like it was within 30 minutes, but it doesn't make sense. But yeah, so anyway, and I just remember going, fuck, man, who's going to stay in the gym and do that for 8 hours? Like, that's boring as shit. But yet there's people out there that's fucking running for 2 days, 3 days, you know, running fucking from one side of Australia to the other. And it's...
Tim Franklin running the world.
Was that?
Tim Franklin running the world. He's in America at the moment. You got Pat Farmer doing around Australia, 15,000 Ks.
15,000 Ks.
He's trying to beat he's done it before already. Have you heard of Pat Farmer?
No.
He's currently now in WA. He did Tasmania already.
Oh, yeah.
And he's in WA at the moment. Day 17 or day 18 today. He's literally running around Australia. Yeah. 15,000 Ks.
There was another guy that ran from Perth to Byron Bay.
Will.
Mine mechanic.
Will Bartlett.
Yeah. For the veteran suicide.
Did that in 80 days. Insane.
So did Ned done it from what? Perth to
Bondi
Bondi
Beach. Perth to Bondi Beach.
Was it more or less?
I'm pretty sure Will did more.
Yeah.
But Ned was 3,942 from memory.
49 days or something.
In
100K a day.
47 days.
Yeah, 100K a day. Yeah.
Averaged around 90 something after.
Yeah.
A day.
Yeah, crazy.
Something like that. But yeah, still insane.
Yeah, look, he's fucking jacked up. I wanted to be like him, eh? When he come out and I seen him, I was like, who the fuck? I wanted the same tattoos. I wanted to be that big. I'm like, how's this guy doing it? But there's a massive story about him with the drugs that he was on. Look at him there. That's his Chantel, and then he separated from her and was with this other girl. And I think they started getting on amphetamines and taking drugs. And then she stitched him up. She started doing these secret recordings of him, and yeah. And the next minute, he died with her, but he went back to her. But look at him there. That's mental health, right there. Cool. All right, my man. Well, thank you. I'll chop this up. I'll try and piece, put some parts to, you know, how long have we been recording for? 2 hours, 4 minutes. No one's going to sit and listen to 2 hours and 4 minutes. Although you might have some big fans that, you know, just make a big hype. Say, I was on the Game Experience podcast. They're like, who's that? Oh, just the guy who's got 400 and something.
434 subscribers.
Can I go here?
Who was the last person you talked to?
It was Chris Rice from Rice TV.
Good for the money. The tally stock itself.
So this was about the collapse. So Rice TVX. So Rice TVX.
Yeah, still over Zoom.
Yeah. So he's got 32, but he's on a very popular crypto show called Around the Blockchain. So he's yeah, so I had him on. It took me like 2 years to get him on. It was just so hard to
try to plant seed. I am the problem.
hang on.
I mentioned
Actually, he's not there. He's on this show here. he's on this. He's a weekly guest on this show. But yeah, we spoke. It was sort of a bit delayed because again, it took 2 years to get him on, and then by the time we spoke, it was like, oh, here he is. Here.
And when you would normally consider yourself like a bulk buyer of anything else,
Yeah, so
Got a
There's
new
a guy-
camera, so he's now in higher res.
There is it.
His last video, he tells you how to beat the IRS. Rice TVX. And
Yeah.
guess
So
what?
this channel here, I'm trying to him there. That's BitBoy Crypto. So he runs a show which has over 1 million subscribers. So Around the Blockchain is his channel, but it's just sort of separated from. Where is it? BitBoy. This is his name. BitBoy Crypto. So Around the Blockchain was Ben's was on Ben's channel here. Yeah, he's got over 1 million. So yeah, so Rice is a weekly guest on BitBoy's channel. So yeah, and then before that was Britannia from Breath Retreats or Breathe. Breath, it's actually Breath. We spoke, she does like retreats with yoga and fasting and stuff. Started a show here called This Week on Twitter. There's that one there, the title. Are you okay? No, the government is fucking us. That's with all the lockdowns, I think. One here about mind control, crypto. One here with Sean Stone. Don't know if you know Sean Stone. His father's Oliver Stone. His father, created. Oh no, I'm not going to show it on here. His father is a big time Hollywood producer. That's Sean. Actually, there's his dad there, Oliver. So yeah, you don't know if you've heard of movies like JFK with Harrison Ford. Was Harrison Ford? Platoon. I think he was the director of Platoon. But yeah, there's Sean there. So that's his father, Oliver. So I've done two with Sean. This one was Facebook Live, but then I've got another one. Where's the other one? Down here. I don't know. There. That one there. So yeah, I've done a few. I sort of got a little bit sidetracked. You can tell my thumbnails have improved from. I learned how to do them, but yeah. So it's very hard to grow a YouTube channel. That's for sure. It's yeah. Anyone listening, like and subscribe. Yeah. So yeah. So I've got this segment there this week on Twitter. I'm gonna actually do another episode coming up pretty soon, which is about prophecy. There's a guy I follow on Twitter who talks about all of these things about the Antichrist and the beast and second coming of Christ and all these things, but speak about it in a prophecy way on how to translate all this shit that's going on in the world, because they're saying that like the Antichrist is about to appear his head. And it could be Donald Trump. All right, cool. All right, my man, that's a wrap. And thank you. And we'll do this again post UTA.
That'd be good talk.
And we'll run through it all.
After we finish. In under 20 hours, that'd be good.
Thank you. Thanks for showing up.
That's it.
Thanks for showing up.